Do you believe in signs from the universe? Have you ever asked for a sign? Did you get it? Or maybe you have been receiving signs all along and you just haven't been aware of it. Or you've thought, just a coincidence. Well, on this episode of the Hangout with Penny show, I'm going to share with you my insights on whether the universe gives us signs or not. And I am going to share with you something right now before we go on with the show. Is I received a sign today, probably 4 of them, that there was something wrong with the link to my Hangout show. So this one, you'll probably all be watching the recording because I had to make a new link, a new Hangout event, because when I was posting the link on my Facebook page, so all my people, my friends on there would have the link, I was getting a message saying, "Are you sure you want to post this?" They were telling me that it was kind of, what was the words they used? I kind of ignored it because I'm like, I just went and made that. So I know the link is good. I was being told that the link was no good. And yet I continued to post it and post it and post it until I tried to start my event tonight, and it didn't work. It was froze. I couldn't get past the first thing where I had to click that to get into the Hangout. So anyway, I was given signs today, which I ignored. So here I am. You'll be watching the recording. Anyway, so let's get on with the show. It probably will be a little shorter. You're watching the Hangout with Penny show. Penny, my name is Penny Peddie. I live in Wasaga Beach, Ontario, Canada. I am a law of attraction trainer and coach, and I have been enjoying doing these Hangouts for the last 38 episodes. So I'm really happy with that. So Hangout with Penny show is a weekly show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And people are making a habit of it. They watch me sometimes Saturday mornings, drinking with their coffee, catching up on all the episodes prior, which is good. And then they comment. So I like that. So I am going to read to you right now what people are saying. Oh, I see some of you found me. I see I have viewers, so you got the link, so that's good. So what people are saying, this goes back to episode 37, and this is with Anne Marie Camp. Dear Penny, thanks for your tips, your generosity. I'm uplifted and inspired. Love so much your last topic. Every Saturday morning after breakfast, my rendezvous with the how-to guy and everything is possible lady is my first action. Well, that's a great way to start your day. And everything is possible lady is my first action. So gorgeous, so grateful, honored to be in your G+ community from the West French Coast, from your West French Coast friend. Have a nice weekend. So my G+ community is right here. And it's probably a little bit more difficult to see. Google+ /Penny Peddie is my Google community. And you know what? Every Hangout I was going to do a Penny for Your Thoughts Q&A segment. And I kind of posted that. Boy, oh boy, there we go. However, I decided, because my shows kind of go a little longer than I really want them to, because I want to honor everybody's time, so 30 minutes, unless it's a real involved show, I'd like to keep it to 30 minutes. So I decided that in my community, we're going to do the Q&A section there. And I find that people are really opening up and asking some really great questions, some heartfelt questions of real things that have been going on in their life and how to switch them around. And so I'm really honored that people feel safe in this community to ask questions. And we all, in our community, we're like a community of friends that are there to support each other and help each other and be there for one another. So we uplift each other. And that's the purpose of the Hangout with Penny show. It's to inspire you and to uplift you and empower you to raise yourself up and know that, yeah, anything can happen. Anything's possible. Life is good. So anyway, back on. So Linda Gannon, she says, enjoyed hearing about your trip and how it all worked out. We're going to talk more about that tonight, about my sign. And how amazing was that, that the woman behind you on the bus was just the right person to help you with finding your own family history. What were the chances of that happening? Well, it depends on how much you want to trust and allow the law of attraction to make that happen. So, but yeah. So loved your tips and will use them when I'm traveling. Here's hoping you attract more fun-filled trips to the UK. Well, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I'd really love to go back. Because there is that one person in particular that I really do want to see again. And I'll tell you about her in a moment. And Kathy Ware, she says, I have watched your Hangouts and I've never commented. Love the wine offerings, and this episode showed me how I have not valued myself. So thank you for the episode. Now she's referring to episode 36, which was with tapping expert or emotional freedom technique, EFT, expert Cherie Valentine. And so that was really great. So the wine offering. You know what wine I have for you this week? Because I went to the UK, that's what the topic of last week's show was, and how important it was for me to go there, because that's where my father was born in 1910, and he came to Canada in 1928, and he never went back, and this was my first time going. So I thought this was pretty appropriate because I was kind of like on a family tree mission. So, and there it is. It's called Roots. So I went back to my roots. So I thought that was pretty important. So cheers. Cheers to the UK. I really did enjoy it there. So thank you. I see many of you found me, and I really appreciate that for hanging in there and supporting me while I got a new link. Hey, it's a first time learning experience. But you know what? I stayed calm. And I thought, I can do this. And the whole time I kept saying, I was being told about this. I was being told about this. And I kept ignoring it. Instead of like going in, checking it out, I kept ignoring it. And well, there we go. So I was given a sign today. And actually, Jeffrey X. Lane, where is he's made a really good comment about, oh, I did write it down because it was really important and I wanted to share it. Yes, Jeffrey X. Lane from the Hangout with Jeffrey show. And his comment was, yes, I believe the universe sends us signals and messages all the time. But do we listen or see them? I thought I was the type of person that did. Evidently, today, because I was doing a show about signs, I was given a little lesson about, yeah, you need to listen more. So thank you for that comment, Jeffrey, because we do get signs. I know you were given a really important sign that you listened to that saved your life. So I'm grateful for that. Anyway, thank you so much. I was going to ask you to comment, but however, you can, and I'll read them next week because right now I don't see them. Okay, so let's get on with the show. I want to share with you something really, I call it magical, but it's just evidence again that when we're lined up to receive signs, messages, signals, when we're lined up to receive them and open to them, they'll show up. Now I have something very special to show you. Well, it's special to me. I hope you get it. So last week, if you go back to episode 37, I was talking about how to handle stress. I give you 3 steps on how to handle stress during a stressful situation during the holidays. And so once I got through all that, I set the intention, which was one of the steps, set the intention for the way you want it to be. And so I am going up to the northern part of the UK, of England, and I'm on the train. So it was very exciting. I didn't know where I was going. I was by myself. I was in a different country, but I knew the end result. So the journey along the way is something you really got to pay attention to because it's beautiful. So 4 hours or so on the train, we're pulling up to Newcastle, because all my life, that's all I knew about my dad, is he was from Newcastle on Tyne, Gateshead on Tyne. That's all I knew, the bridge. So we're pulling into Newcastle. I see the bridge. So I was like, oh, to me, that was a very special moment, because that's all really I knew about my dad's past. Like, I mean, I had my dad in my life, my whole life, till he passed away in '93 at the age of 82. But as far as his family, I didn't know anything, but I did know this. And so that was such a very special moment for me to think I was actually there. And so then I saw the sign Newcastle. And so at that moment, I just kind of silently looked up and I said, Dad, if you're happy I'm doing this, give me a sign. I said, Dad, let me see your name somewhere. Let me see your name. Now my dad, his name was John Sharp, and everybody called him Jack. And but I said, you know, let me see your name. John Sharp, J Sharp, Jack Sharp, Jack, John Sharp. Just let me see your name. So 5 minutes later, I'm off the train, and one of the information gentlemen gave me some different places that I could go find a hotel room. So I just walked to the train station. I made a right turn, and I was walking. Didn't know where I was going. And one of these little messages came to me that said, stop and turn around. I'm in the middle of the sidewalk, people all over the place, and yet I just stopped. And I turned around. This is what I saw. Can you see that? The sign says Jack's. I stood there and went, oh. So I don't know why. I got my camera out right away. I could just cry thinking about this because it was, oh, sorry. Oh boy, I didn't expect this. It was just one of those moments where I trusted that I was doing the right thing, not only for me. Oh boy. Hang on a minute. Not only for me, but for my dad and for our whole bloodline. And little did I know that I was going to go to the church, and I had the priest bless our bloodline, and he touched my forehead. And anyway, that was very special. So, oh, I didn't expect this. And when I got home, I said to my brother, I said, oh, I have to show you something. I have to show you something. I said, because sometimes, you know, things I think and say are a little bit different. But anyway, so I thought, how am I going to tell him this? Anyway, I said, you know what? I'm just going to say, I'm like, hey, Rod, I got to show you something. I said, when we were getting into Newcastle. And of course, then he said, oh, the Tyne Bridge? I'm like, yeah. I said, I asked for a sign from Dad. I said, look what I got. And I'm telling you, he was, I think he was flabbergasted. And he's the one that said, and it's a sign. It's a sign on the building. It's an actual sign. So not only did I get Dad's name, but on a sign. And so he pointed that out to me. Anyway, so the reason I believe that that came so quickly for me, because sometimes we ask, well, I'll go back a little bit. When my dad passed away in 1993, for years, I would say, I would ask my dad to give me a sign, some sort of sign that he was around. I didn't get it. I may have got it. I just wasn't open to it. And so over the years, I just stopped asking because I figured Dad's journey was gone to, you know, moving on, and that part was gone until this. But I think for me, my energy was so lined up. I was in total alignment with being at this place, that it was so in alignment to how I was feeling, and just coming in, everything was so surreal. And I was just, it was like, it was magical to me, and just like, I'm here. So I was wide open with that feeling of, oh, this is beautiful, this is wonderful, I've made it. So, and boom, I was open to receive the sign that I asked for. So I believe that we do get signs. It reminds me of another time last year when things were really rough for me. Actually, I couldn't even do my Hangout show that day. At the last minute, I canceled it, and I had to go to the beach, and I was walking on the beach, and I was crying. There's things with my mom were just like awful at the time. And so I'm walking the beach, I'm crying and thinking there's got to be something. And I just looked out over the water, and I said, look, I need a sign that things are going to change. And I wish I had the picture to show you now, because I said, and I don't want just any sign. I want something concrete. Oh, this is so funny, because I've been at the beach probably 45 minutes now, walking up, turning around, walking up, turning around, walking up, turning around. I didn't see this. I just got finished saying, I want a concrete sign, something concrete. I turned to walk back, and then again I went, oh, because right there was, the workers, I guess, had been paving the driveway or paving the parking lot, and they had dumped all the extra concrete all over the rocks. And there was concrete all over. So I started like crying and laughing, and I thought, if anyone could see me, they would be. But anyway, there again, I really needed a sign. It was like, I was determined that, okay, something's got to change. And I was given a sign. Oh my gosh. I just want to say that it is important when we're going through life, sometimes we just need something to focus on as far as hope and as far as things are going to get better. Because in order for our lives to really get better and excel and to attract dreams and desires and wishes into our life, we need to get ourselves into better feeling thoughts. We need to be in a better feeling place, because when we stay low and in low vibration, things will match that up. So we just need, so if asking for a sign, so years ago, if you see my Hangout with Penny signs, you'll see I have a feather, a white feather, because years ago I told this story, I think on episode 4 or 6 with Max Ryan, my feather story, how I plucked it just right in front of my face. I just plucked this white feather because I asked for it. And that was actually a turning point for me, because it gave me hope. It gave me something to look forward to. So if we have something to look forward to, then we can raise our vibration, that know that something better is coming. And so that's what I did, and so here I am. But I'm just going to share something else. Now, when I went into, when I was on my trip, my mom went into her residency at the long-term care facility. And so I, last week, spent much of my week cleaning up her apartment and getting it freshened up. And so as I was doing it, it was kind of a, it was a little bit sad, thinking that, my mom's now in another home. And again, so I just said, like, just show me a sign that this was the right decision. Just show me a sign that, my mom's going to be okay there, and we've made the right decision. And I lifted up the doily off underneath the lamp, because I was going to wash it. I lifted up the lamp, and the doily, this was under the doily. What is that? It's a white feather underneath the doily. My mom didn't know anything about my story about white feathers. And this is what I found in my mom's house after I asked the question, will it be okay? So, and it is. So, just be open. Be open to receiving. In order to get the law of attraction to really work in our lives, it's number 3. It's the 3rd step. And that is to allow it to come in. And how do we do that? By lessening the doubt. And sometimes if we ask for a sign and we're open to receive that sign, that we do get it, we can then lessen the doubt, and we can go into a higher vibration knowing that, yeah, things are okay and things are going to get better. And so just ask for signs, because it's just They're always there. And sometimes we are given signs, we are giving messages, we are given sometimes things in disguise to prevent us many times from accidents or speeding tickets. We'll get these little hints of don't go that way, or don't go into work today, or whatever, and we listen to them, and then we hear something like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I stayed home. Or then we don't listen to it and we'll carry on, and then something will happen and you'll be like, oh, I should have listened to that. So it's really important to pay attention. That's when Jeffrey said, but do we pay attention? Do we listen to them? So once we know, and that's why I really wanted to do this show, because I mean, that is a very important thing. Jax, of all the names, Jack. Oh, and then I end up drinking Sharp beer. It was a brand of beer, and it was called Sharp, and that was in Tintagel. And another thing I said just after I got home was, oh, there's one thing I really wish I could have done, and that was, there was one lady that I met there, and her name was Barry Brown, and I'll tell you how I met her. On my way back from the train. So if you listen to last week's episode, you'll know on the very first night we were in Glastonbury, I didn't have a place to stay, and it was kind of a low vibration for me, and anyway, that all worked out. So I said to my friend, when I come back from going up north to where my dad is, I'm going to stay in Bristol overnight on the Thursday night, because I know I can get a place to stay there. So I'm going to stay in Bristol, and then I'll take the bus to Glastonbury in the morning and meet up with you then. That wasn't feeling too good with me, because I thought, I got to make sure that I meet up with them at the right time. But something said to me, keep going. So I got off the train. I went to the Holiday Inn Express, and I asked if they had a room there, and they said, yeah. So, but something was saying, don't take the room, just keep going, keep going. I already knew there was no rooms, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep going, because I can always come back. So I get on the bus, and away I go, and we're getting close to my stop, and there was a young lady behind me, and I asked her if she knew of a place to stay, and she said, well, there's a couple of bed and breakfasts. Great. As soon as you got off the bus stop, just keep walking down, you'll see them. So I did. 2 bed and breakfasts side by side, no vacancies. So I'm like, okay. I keep walking. Don't know where I'm going. And I'm looking like I'm walking out of town, but I just keep walking. There's a lady walking up the sidewalk. I stopped her. And I said, excuse me, are you from the area? She said, yeah. I said that a lot. She said, yeah. I said, well, I need a place to stay tonight, so could you recommend like a bed and breakfast or somewhere, where could I find one? And she said, you won't find one going this way. So I kind of wondered that. And she says, well, hang on, I'll call someplace for you. And this place, the name of this place is the Daisy Center, Glastonbury. I didn't remember that. And just the other day, I said, I wish I could remember the name of that place. And Max Ryan was on my show on episode 4 and 6. And so he was nominated actually for what was he nominated for? Spiritual Coach from the Soul and Spirit Awards. He doesn't know I was going to say this. Neither did I actually. And he was nominated alongside Louise Hay, so that is a huge honor. So congratulations to you, Max. Anyway, so this place that I'd never heard of before is nominated for Best Retreat Healing Center, and it's Daisy Center in Glastonbury. However, so this beautiful lady calls, and they didn't have a place. But she kept talking, and then she got off the phone, and so she says to me, well, how long do you need a room for? I said, just tonight. I said, my friends are over at the Abbey House, and I said, we're meeting up again tomorrow morning, and then we're leaving town. So I just need a place for tonight. She said, well, I actually have a bed and breakfast, but it's booked out from tomorrow on. So she said, it is available for tonight. Would you like to come and see it? I said, okay. I walked in her part. She took me up to a flat. So I was actually in a flat, and it was beautiful. And I just said, yeah, I will stay here. Thank you very much. So again, I listened. I was being guided, so I was able to stay at the very town that my friends were in. So in the morning, we could meet up at the exact same time, and we could start our day and continue our journey on, because then we were going to Canterbury. So we went there. Anyway, so when you get these guided nudges, sometimes, you know, it's like I didn't know where I was going, but there was a greater plan for me, and it was beautiful. Okay, so you've been watching episode 38 of the Hangout with Penny show. And yeah, this was the perfect show to talk about, do you get signs from the universe? Because like I said, I was given one all day today with the link to this hangout. Anyway, so I have some work to do after to get it all fixed up, but that's okay, because here we are. And I just want to let you know, because we're getting close to the end, I just want to let you know that we have the last couple of shows, the last 2 shows, I've been solo because I chose to be. That's what I wanted. I wanted to share my trip with you. So the next few episodes, I'm going to have people with me. So let's see here. Episode, oh boy, episode 39. And this is going to be, we're going to talk about the emotions code with Deborah Crossman. Crossman. Now, she's a creator of the emotion release therapy, which uses powerful tools to help release trapped, buried emotions, traumas, and memories. The removal of these will allow you to be free and have success and happiness in your life. So it's very interesting, because it's just a different kind of, there's tapping, there's different types of modalities that help. And this one's very powerful, because sometimes we have trapped emotions that are inherited, that come forward from our family line. And so it's good to know. So it's going to be a good show. And then on episode 40, Jody Santangelo, if you've been watching the Hangout with Michael show, you know that I've been on there since he began 94 episodes ago. And Jody's been a regular as well. And so she's going to be on my show, and we're going to talk about communication styles and how important it is in relationships. And she's also a law of attraction facilitator, and she's a lot of fun, so we're going to have fun on that one. Episode 41, this is going to be a sensitive topic, because we're going to talk about how I had to learn how to change my relationship with God. So you may want to call it God, Spirit, Source, Divine. But growing up, I had a fear of God, and I attracted a very highly respected spiritual coach into my life to help me get through that, and we're going to meet him. And then that leads us up into my anniversary show, 1 year. So I'm going to have special guests, and I'm really excited for that. So you have been watching episode 38 of the Hangout with Penny show. Weekly show, 8 p.m. Fridays. Thank you for making me a habit. And go on, if you're interested, just go on over to my Google community. Just ask to join. We're doing some, I'm actually having a good program for coaches, trainers, entrepreneurs that are on your own. I'm doing a mastermind mentorship program. It's only going to be lasered 4 weeks. Really good price, only available for my community members. And so that's in there. And I'm also doing a 6-week Slim and 6. Anyone that's looking to reduce a little bit of weight, I'm doing a program for that too. So you can find that out in my community as well. Okay, everybody, this has been a fun show. I made it through, and I'm really appreciative from all the support and the love that you send. To all my friends in the UK, thank you. Barry Brown, I'm going to meet you again. I will. So everybody, thank you very much, and we will see you next week. Watch for the signs, because they're always there. Some say it's just your vibration. Maybe it is. Or maybe we do have angels on our shoulders. Maybe we do. I believe we do. Bye, everybody.